Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Kano Tryharding Modern. Today, we'll be playing Is It Blitz? Now, I haven't played Is It Blitz since Expressive Iteration was added to the deck, and this version is not playing the Mishra's Bauble, which I think actually makes Expressive Iteration quite a bit better. But this is a relatively recent 5.0 list, so without any further ado, what's Blitz? If I have to answer that question, I'm going to take it you don't play a lot of competitive Modern right now, because it's almost 10% of the metagame, according to MTG Goldfish. But Blitz is a bunch of really cheap prowess threats. So a couple of 1-mana 1/2s in the form of Monastery, Swiftspear, and Soulscar Mage. Sprite Dragon as a 2-mana 1/1 that flies. And Stormwing Entity as effectively a 2-mana 3/3 that flies, all with prowess. And the idea is spell spam until your opponent dies. And generally that happens pretty quick. When you have cheap cantrips like Opt, Expressive Iteration is an effectively 2-mana draw 3, Lava Dart, which is 1 mana for 2 prowess triggers and 2 damage, Lightning Bolt, which is 1 mana for 3 damage, and Mutagenic Growth, which is 0 mana for 2 damage, and Manamorphose, which is a free prowess trigger that cantrips. The deck is very, very strong and is hard to hate out. Frequently because with the banning of Simian Spirit Guide, you can't just play a Chalice on turn 1 anymore. Because if you put Chalice on 1 before a player playing Blitz can play a threat, generally you could win. But since that's no longer a viable option, this is what's left. 10% of prowess metagame. So out of the sideboard, we have Alpine Moon as Tron Hate that we can play for 1 mana. We have Dragon's Claw for versus Burn or the opposing prowess matchup occasionally. We have Tormod's Crypt as our Grave Hate of choice. It's 0 mana. It triggers prowess for free. We have a Braid as our Artifact Destruction / additional creature removal. A single Bedlam Reveler if we decide we need more threats, a little bit more reload sustain against like maybe a mid-rangey deck. Threads of Disloyalty versus Rock and Jund. Any deck playing Tarmogoyf for Death Shadow, this card's good versus. We have Spell Pierce for some early interaction, and Dispel for basically the same reason. And I've explained everything I need to explain, so I'll see you guys in round 1. Alright, we won the die roll, and this hand looks crazy, so I'm going to keep. This is the kind of hand that on the play feels like it's unbeatable. Alright, so start Spire Bluff Canal, Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Mountain. Wild Slash our Soulscar Mage. How rude. We draw Swiftspear. So, play Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills. If my opponent is only playing a Mountain and a Wild Slash, they're probably playing a lot of burn spells, and I may want to preserve my life total. So I'm just going to fetch a basic Mountain, play Swiftspear, play Soulscar, get in for 1, take them to 19, they untap, they play a Wooded Foothills, they crack Wooded Foothills. Okay, they are Blitz, so this is the Blitz versus Blitz matchup. They play their own Soulscar Mage, and a second one. We untap, we draw Stormwing Entity. So Manamorphose, trigger Prowess, add red, blue. We got Lightning Bolt and Lava Dart. I think we gotta play Stormwing Entity here. Go Scrying. Opt Mutagenic Growth seems really strong. We already have Lightning Bolt. I think I'm gonna put Opt to the bottom and Mutagenic Growth to the top. Now if my opponent has a Mutagenic Growth, this attack is gonna be kind of bad, but that means that they're not using a Mutagenic Growth offensively. Okay. We hit our opponent down to 12. They play Manamorphose into blue-red. They play Manamorphose again into red-red. They either filtered wrong or they're debating about what to do, so they Lava Dart, Shrinking Soulscar, they Lava Dart, Shrinking Swiftspear. They're going to attack us for 10. No blocks. We go to 9. Untap. Draw Mutagenic Growth. So if I Lava Dart them, that's 1 + 3 + 3 damage. Yeah, they're super dead. So lead on Lava Dart, prowess triggers. And then we Lightning Bolt them, and we Lava Dart them again. Okay, go to combat, and they scoop. Okay, so in the Blitz matchup, I don't know if I want Dragon's Claw. Bedlam Reveler might make sense, just to give like a little more sustain. I'm not sure what I take out for Bedlam Reveler, though. I mean, I don't even really know what I take out for Dragon's Claw. I guess an Opt, maybe? I'll try bringing in 1. We'll see if we draw it and have a good hand. I get the feeling that by sideboarding, I potentially decrease the explosiveness of my deck, which might be what I want in order to beat an opposing Blitz player, especially when they're on the play. But that hand was basically unbeatable because it was like the combination of cards we wanted. Alright. No threats make me worry about this hand. We can't play Expressive Iteration until turn 3. I would have to sack Steam Vents if I wanted to flashback Lava Dart, but we do have a Vapor Snag. If I had a single creature, I think this hand would be good. I'm going to check and see if my opponent mulligans here, because that's going to make a huge difference in whether or not I'm going to keep this. I think if they mulligan twice, I would keep something like this. If they mulligan once, I'll think long and hard about it, but if they don't mulligan, if they just keep 7, I think I have to. Okay, they mulliganed. You know what? I'll keep. Keeping a hand without a threat seems pretty bad, but we are on the draw. Okay, so opponent did keep 6. They lead on Spire Bluff Canal into a Soulscar Mage. We draw a Lava Dart, so play Spire Bluff Canal. I'm just going to Vapor Snag now. Potentially Vapor Snag gets to be like a higher value if my opponent plays a like Manamorphose into Stormwing Entity, because we can undo the Stormwing Entity effectively, but Bolt Soulscar. Opponent is going to Mutagenic Growth in response. So this tells me that's their only threat. Shock Steam Vents, Lava Dart, Lava Dart. Okay, pass the turn. This does make Expressive Iteration a bit worse. We can't play it next turn. But I kind of have to make these plays because I don't have threats. I suppose I could have waited until my opponent started dedicating resources to doing damage in a turn, but the more mana I let them have, the less likely it is we'll be able to kill whatever they play. Okay. Opponent Expressive Iterations out of Mountain. Play Fiery Islet, pass the turn. We're going to wait for a turn because we played a land this turn. I'm not going to fire off Manamorphose in case I top deck a Stormwing Entity. The opponent casts another Expressive Iteration. Opponent exiles Monastery Swiftspear. They play Swiftspear. They go to combat. Attack for 1. We take 1. Okay. Untap. We draw Vapor Snag. So red-blue, Expressive Iteration. Put 1 into our hand. 1 on the bottom. Exile 1. Play the Mountain. Play Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. We can protect it somewhat with Mutagenic Growth, though obviously we would much rather use that offensively. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a Sprite Dragon. They play a Fiery Islet. They are going to Abrade Soulscar. So, Mutagenic Growth Soulscar. And opponent also has a Lightning Bolt. Okay. So they hit us for 6, we go to 8. We untap and draw Bolt. So... Vapor Snag the Sprite Dragon. Lightning Bolt the Swiftspear. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play out a Sprite Dragon. They play out a Swiftspear. They go to combat. They attack for 2. Try and kill the Sprite Dragon. Okay. They let it happen. We take 1. Go to 6. We untap. We draw an Opt. Lead on Opt. Expressive Iteration, which we will draw. Play Expressive Iteration. One of them into our hand. Put Soulscar Mage. One of them on the bottom. Opt. Exile Mountain. Play Mountain. Play Soulscar. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a Fiery Islet. They play a Seasoned Pyromancer, which is going to draw them some cards. So their deck is sacrificing the Glass Cannon ability for just increased card draw. They play another Swiftspear, and they're going to Lightning Bolt Soulscar. We can prevent 1 damage with this Lava Dart, and we probably should. Take 3, go to 2. Okay, it's kind of a desperation play. I'm not sure what we could actually draw here, but the answer is nothing. Okay. But the good news is we're on the play for Game 3, so we're going to run it back. And the lesson learned is don't keep a hand without a threat. Alright, I would like to play first, and I think I can make this work, so I'm going to keep. Lead on Spire Bluff Canal, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So we have the option of Vapor Snag or Lightning Bolt if they play anything. If they don't... Well, we could also wait. We could Mutagenic Growth their creature to play Stormwing Entity. Alright, they play a Soulscar Mage. I kind of just want to Vapor Snag them and set them back, so I'm gonna. Okay. We untap, we draw a Vapor Snag, play a Mountain, pass the turn. They untap, they replay Soulscar Mage. They only have one land. Best Vapor Snag ever. Alright, opponent has to discard to hand size. We untap and draw Expressive Iteration, so play it. Put one into our hand. It will probably be Stormwing Entity. Put one of them on the bottom. I think it will be Mutagenic Growth, and exile Scalding Tarn. Play Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent found a second land. They replay Soulscar Mage, and they play a Swift Spear. So they go to combat. I'm going to fetch and shock Steam Vents. I'm hoping to find another land off of Expressive Iteration, so we're taking a slightly riskier line. Bolt Swift Spear. The fact that my opponent has no lands in hand, though, probably means they have a Mutagenic Growth. At least one. Yep. Alright. Well, that's no good. Had we done it on our turn, then we at least wouldn't have to worry about it. Okay. Well, we can take the safe route here and opt first. I will keep a Lava Dart. Play Stormwing Entity. Go Scrying. Sprite Dragon on top, Manamorphose on top. Pass the turn. The problem is Mutagenic Growth does not protect Stormwing Entity if they have a Lightning Bolt. This is either Expressive Iteration or Manamorphose. It's Expressive Iteration. Okay. So their guys get bigger. They put Steam Vents into exile, they shock themselves. Then they're going to Vapor Snag, like a jerk. Okay, we're getting hit for half our life total here. We untap, we draw Manamorphose. So Manamorphose into red-blue, play Sprite Dragon, Lava Dart, put a 1/1 counter on Sprite Dragon, Lava Dart. I think I actually have to stay on defense to even have a chance of surviving, which is so bad. Well, that's gonna be game. Alright, we're dead. Blitz versus Blitz. Blitz wins. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, it's a bit risky, but, I mean, if we're on the draw, and if we draw land, this is great. I'm gonna keep this. Alright. Lead on Swift Spear. Go to combat. Attack them for 1. Okay, opponent takes 1. We pass. Now they bolt, playing around our Mutagenic Growth. This isn't the same guy, is it? Nope. They play a Steam Vents tapped. We draw a Lava Dart. So, play Scalding Tarn. Play Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a River Glide Pathway. I'm unsure as to whether this is Through the Breach or Blitz, and it could honestly go either way at this point. It's probably Blitz, because they're playing Spire Bluff, though that's not necessarily the case. Alright, crack Scalding Tarn. They might have another Bolt in response, or a Snapcaster Bolt here. If they kill Soulscar Mage, and we don't draw like Manamorphose or Mutagenic Growth, we're probably casting Expressive Iteration. Okay, so our opponent is actually Through the Breach. Scalding Tarn, gonna get a Steam Vents tapped. We untap, we draw Mutagenic Growth. So, play Sprite Dragon. Mutagenic Growth. Go to combat, hit our opponent for 4. They untap. Snapcaster for Lightning Bolt. They Lightning Bolt Sprite Dragon. We untap and draw a Mountain. So Mountain, Lava Dart, Stormwing Entity, Mountain, and Lightning Bolt. I'm going to leave both of those on top, actually. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. We draw a Lightning Bolt. Expressive Iteration, Prowess Trigger. Put 1 into our hand. That'll be Mutagenic Growth. One of them on the bottom, that's Spire Bluff, exile Mountain. Play Mountain. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Bolt our opponent. Bolt our opponent. Mutagenic Growth? If they have like Cryptic Bounce, that would be terrible for us. They must. Otherwise they're just dead. Okay, well, at least I kept Lava Dart, so I can still replay Stormwing Entity. but that is unfortunate. Opponent opts. Okay. We draw Manamorphose. Manamorphose. Red, blue. Play Stormwing Entity. Opponent remands. Play Stormwing Entity. Go Scrying. Mutagenic Growth to the bottom. Mutagenic Growth to the top. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Cascade Bluffs. And they pass. We untap. Draw Mutagenic Growth. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Mutagenic Growth. Lava Dart. So prowess up to 7. We're not going to flashback anything yet, because we basically force them to interact with us now. We've already cast a spell, so if they bounce it, we can replay it. If they take the hit, we have 2 chances to kill them the instant they cast anything. Yeah, you know what? Shoot them on their upkeep. Porter, hush. That's our roommate. Hey, that's our roommate. Go see what it is. Go see. Okay, opponent's going to Snapcaster Mage, targeting Remand. They cast Remand, so we just Lava Dart again. And because it's their upkeep, they can't force. Nice. Alright. So versus our opponent's deck, I definitely want Dispels and Spell Pierces. Not going to need Alpine Moon. Probably don't need a Braid. Dragon's Claw and Tormod's Crypt, which I probably don't need either. Vapor Snag hits nothing that we actually want to have back in their hand. Like, I don't want to put Snapcasters back in their hand. That seems really bad. I can cut an Opt, and then I can cut maybe a Mutagenic Growth or an Expressive Iteration. I'm not sure which is worse. Or maybe another Opt. I want to cut another Opt. I'll try it like this. Yeah, sorry about the barking, suddenly. Porter, when he's very tired, and he's, like, falling in and out of sleep, he, if my roommate makes noise, sometimes it wakes him up and he surprises him, and then he goes in full alert. And we were just at the park playing Frisbee prior to this, so he's really tired because it's warm outside, and I was doing some pretty far throws, and he didn't want to slow down at all, and we have to walk to get there and walk to get back, and so he's pretty tired. Here, hang on a sec. Oh no, I don't have it on this view, so I can't show you. Never mind. All right. This is a little risky because we have no way to protect our Stormwing Entity. I think I actually have to mulligan that. This is a lot better. I'm gonna put back Mutagenic Growth, actually. Okay, opponent leads on Lava Glide Pathway. We draw Spire Bluff Canal, so play Swift Spear. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent takes 1. They got the Lightning Bolt. They untap. Play an island. We untap. Draw Soulscar Mage. Play a mountain. Play Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw a Cascade Bluff, or they draw and then play a Cascade Bluffs. We untap. We draw Expressive Iteration. So play Scalding Tarn. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent takes 1. Manamorphose into blue-red. Play Stormwing Entity. Opponent mystically disputes. We can't do anything about that. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. Okay. On their end step, crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Steam Vents tapped. We untap. We draw a Lightning Bolt. Play Fiery Islet. Go to combat. Attack. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent casts a Valakut Awakening, shuffling away a bunch of cards. They untap. Play a land. And they pass. So we're going to cycle Fiery Islet. We get a Mutagenic Growth. Untap. We draw Sprite Dragon. Play Sprite Dragon. Opponent mana leaks. There's nothing we can do about that. Go to combat. Attack. Lightning Bolt our opponent. Hit them down to 12. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent Archmage's Charm to draw cards. They untap. Through the Breach. Emrakul. Oh, there goes the neighborhood. I mean, literally. It's just gone and vanished from existence. Play a mountain. Pass the turn. We untap. Draw a Stormwing Entity. Pass the turn. Well, we can draw another untap land before our opponent does anything. We draw Scalding Tarn, play Scalding Tarn, fetch. My only blue source takes me to 1. Manamorphose, red-blue, play Stormwing Entity. Gets countered. Sure. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they draw. I feel like my sequences have been really terrible. I am not 100% certain why. Expressive Iteration. So, one of them in my hand, which will be Mountain. One of them on the bottom of my library, which will be Mutagenic Growth. And exile Fiery Islet. Play Fiery Islet, pass the turn. Okay, opponent untaps. They play a land. I mean, all they have to do is cast Lightning Bolt and we're dead. We untap, draw a Dispel. Guess there's no reason to main phase this opt. Play a mountain, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. So we opt, mountain to the bottom. We get a Lightning Bolt. Cycle Fiery Islet. Another Lava Dart. Lava Dart our opponent. We untap. We draw Lava Dart. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. And they pass. Lightning Bolt. We untap. We draw Soulscar Mage. Play Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent draws. Engineered Explosives on 1. There is nothing I can do about that. Opponent plays a land. They pass. We untap. We draw Manamorphose. So Manamorphose into red. We get Spell Pierce. Lava Dart our opponent. Lava Dart our opponent. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent sacks Engineered Explosives. Sure. Pass the turn. They untap. They draw. They opt. Try and dispel through the breach. Opponent has Mystical Dispute. So they have an Emrakul in hand. I expect them to. Yep. Okay. And we lose. That game went on a lot longer than I thought it would. Yeah, just run it back for game 3. Alright, we are on the play for game 3, and I think this hand is okay. I can either start Steam Vents tapped, and then play Soulscar and try and leave up Spell Pierce. I actually think I'm going to do that. Pass the turn. Opponent mulligan to 5, which is probably good news for us. We draw Manamorphose, play Fiery Islet, play Soulscar, pass the turn. Opponent opts. Okay. They untap. They draw. They play Cascade Bluffs. And they pass. We untap. Draw Spire Bluff Canal. Play Spire Bluff Canal. Play an opt. Prowess Trigger. Scalding Tarn to the bottom. We draw a Sprite Dragon. So, go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent goes to 18. Pass the turn. Opponent opts. Okay, presumably they tapped both in case they opted into another cantrip. Cascade Bluffs is nice for the mana filtering, but the problem is it has a lot of problems. It makes tapping awkward sometimes. But it's necessary when you have like triple blue cards like Cryptic and a lot of red mana. So we're going to lead on Manamorphose into red-blue, play Wooded Foothills, play Sprite Dragon. If they have Mystical Dispute, that's the only thing I can't counter here with Spell Pierce. That's unfortunate. I could Spell Pierce and force them to tap out, but that doesn't seem like a very good use of my mana. So I'm not going to pay. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Hit my opponent down to 16. Pass the turn. They untap. They play a River Glide Pathway. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Steam Vents tapped. Untap. We draw Scalding Tarn. So, Expressive Iteration. Prowess Trigger. Opponent is going to Snapcaster, probably Mystical Dispute. And that, I think I will have to Spell Pierce. If they have a Lightning Bolt, that would really suck, but at the same time, then they would basically be completely out of action. This should find some burn spell to clear the way. Put one of them into your hand. Sprite Dragon. Put one of them on the bottom of your deck. Soulscar. And exile Mutagenic Growth. Play Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a mountain. Play Sprite Dragon. Mutagenic Growth. Triggers. Go to combat. Attack for half their life total. Okay, opponent chumps Soulscar, takes 4. Goes to 12. They untap. They kill Sprite Dragon with Flame Slash. We untap. We draw Spire Bluff. So, Expressive Iteration. Put one of them into our hand, one of them on the bottom of our library, and exile Lava Dart. Lava Dart my opponent. Play Spire Bluff Canal tapped. Go to combat. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more prowess triggers and 2 extra damage for a total of 9. That's not quite enough to kill my opponent. So attack them for 3. Opponent is going to Aether Gust. I could Manamorphose and draw it again. I don't think I want to do that, though. We're going to put it on the bottom. We have to try and draw another threat, which is less than ideal, I would say. The good news is my opponent is 1 combo piece and 1 land away, so it's not like we can possibly die this turn. Okay, opponent opts. They now have 2 cards in hand. On their end step, cycle Fiery Islet. We get Expressive Iteration. Untap. We draw Dispel. I like Dispel. Expressive Iteration. If they have counter magic at this point, I will just Dispel. Okay, one of them into our hand. That would be probably Manamorphose. One of them on the bottom. That'll be Lava Dart. Exile Stormwing Entity. Play Stormwing Entity. Opponent Archmage's Charm. We Dispel. Okay, Stormwing Entity resolves. Scalding Tarn to the bottom, Fiery Islet to the bottom. Don't want either of those. We have plenty of mana. Okay. Opponent untaps. They draw. They are still a combo piece or a land away. Alright, we untap. We draw Sprite Dragon. Play Sprite Dragon. Blue, red, Manamorphose, Prowess triggers. Add red and blue. Manamorphose, Prowess triggers. Add red and blue. Expressive Iteration, Prowess triggers. Drawn so many cards. Put 1 into our hand. Stormwing Entity. Put 1 of them on the bottom. Soulscar. Exile Scalding Tarn. Play Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Hit a mountain. Go to combat. Attack for 10. And we will flashback a Lava Dart off of the tapped mountain. Make it lethal. Nice! Alright, hard fought. We won round 2. I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, we're on the draw, which is not where we want to be, but I think this hand is alright, so I'm going to keep. It's Tron. Green Tron, to be specific. Play Spire Bluff Canal, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They cycle for green. They play a forest, so this is turn 4 Tron at the fastest. They Sylvan Scrying. They get a power plant. Pass the turn. We draw Soulscar Mage. Turn too late, but sometimes it's like that. So play Sprite Dragon. Mutagenic Growth. Yeah. Mutagenic Growth. Go to combat. Hit him for 7. Take him to 13. They have a 3/3. Next turn we can Lightning Bolt and play Stormwing Entity. Opponent plays Oblivion Stone. We untap and draw Lightning Bolt. So that's 3, 6, plus 5 is 11. It's not quite lethal. Lead on Lightning Bolt. Head our opponent down to 10. Play Stormwing Entity. Go Scrying. We're going to hit them to 6. Swift Spear is additional damage on this Lightning Bolt if they have to crack O-Stone, so I think I'm going to keep Swift Spear. Go to combat. Hit them for 4. They go to 6. They do have Tron, so it's looking like they're going to have to crack O-Stone. Okay. They cast Ancient Stirrings. Maybe I should have scryed that Swift Spear away, could just look for another bolt. They get Blast Zone, so that'll be their backup plan for 1-mana prowess creatures. They play Chromatic Star. They cycle for green. So the only green mana the only thing they can use that green mana on is a Thrag Tusk or Ancient Stirring. So go to combat. Okay. Opponent blows up the world. Play Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I might be cycling Fiery Islet here. Opponent plays Sanctum of Ugin. They have 9 mana. They tap 7. 8. Okay, they're playing Ugin. They're going to sack Sanctum. Probably get Wormcoil or something here. Then they'll probably just plus Ugin to try and kill Soulscar, which is reasonable. They get Wormcoil. Okay. If they -1, that saves them from if we have prowess triggers. If they plus, we cycle Fiery Islet in response. Okay. So we need another Mutagenic Growth or a Lightning Bolt in the top 2 cards to kill them. Okay, we get a Steam Vents, we untap, we draw Manamorphose. So Shock Steam Vents, play Swift Spear, Manamorphose into red-blue, Lightning Bolt our opponent, go to combat. Hit them for 3 and kill them. So that was clunkier than I wanted, but it worked. So versus this opponent, we definitely want Alpine Moon, we definitely want Spell Pierce, and we probably want a Braid. We can cut an Opt. I'm going to keep the Vapor Snags, because that's the efficient answer we have for, what's it called? Wormcoil. Like if our opponent happens to like perfect Tron out a Wormcoil. I'm going to cut a couple of Mutagenic Growths, probably a Lava Dart, and I'm only going to bring in 1 Abrade. I'll cut another Opt. Try like this. If we draw another land, this hand is amazing. If we don't, this hand does absolutely nothing. So I think we have to mulligan. Alright, this way we can lead on Soulscar Mage. We have Spell Pierce. We have a Braid. I would have to put back Expressive Iteration, though, and that's one of our stronger cards. So I should probably decide on something to not keep. And I think it is a Braid. I could have put back Expressive Iteration to try and be ultra safe, but I'm not sure that that would be correct to do. Play Soulscar, pass the turn. So our opponent does have the Tron pieces. We untap, we draw Manamorphose, play Fiery Islet, go to combat, attack for 1, play a second Soulscar, pass the turn. Opponent cracks Expedition Map. You're going to get Power Plant. Unless they're holding Power Plant, then they'll get Blast Zone. They get Power Plant, untap. They play Power Plant. They play Chromatic Star. So this could be a Thragtusk. It could also be a Wormcoil. It could also be an Ancient Stirrings in desperation trying to hit a threat. Okay, it's looking like a Thragtusk. Yep, that is unfortunate. So on our opponent's end step, let's Lightning Bolt to kill the Thragtusk. They get a Beast. We untap. We draw a Scalding Tarn. So Expressive Iteration, Prowess triggers. I wonder which card's going into my hand, which card's going on the bottom of my deck, and which card's getting exiled. If I had to guess, the answer to all of that is Stormwing Entity. Alright, play Scalding Tarn. I can't even attack now. That's so bad. I should have let on Manamorphose. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent plays Sanctum of Ugin. Karn liberated. We will let them sack Sanctum first. Okay. So they're going to fetch up probably Wormcoil. They get Ballista. So now we respond by fetching with Scalding Tarn to get a Steam Vents and Spell Piercing the Karn. Okay, opponent no attacks. We draw Alpine Moon. So Manamorphose, Prowess triggers. Say red, blue. We get a Lava Dart. Play Stormwing Entity. Go Scrying. Bottom, bottom. Oops, I don't want to cast Lava Dart, not yet. We Alpine Moon. We'll go ahead and say Urza's Tower. Go to combat. Attack for 6. So now my opponent has to have a land to play a Walking Ballista big enough to kill a single Soulscar Mage. They chump with the Beast. They go to 21. They cast Sylvan Scrying. They get Blast Zone. And they play Blast Zone. Do they play Walking Ballista on 1? That's the question. We untap. We draw Scalding Tarn. Let's go ahead and cycle Fiery Islet. We get a Manamorphose. Scalding Tarn, fetch. Get a Mountain. Manamorphose. We don't have all that many blue cards left in our deck. I think I'm actually going to Manamorphose into red-red here. And it was correct. And we Lava Dart. Prowess triggers abound. Go to combat. Swing with the team. Okay, 3, 6, 11, 13, and we stand to do 5 more damage. Yeah, we Lava Dart. Because my opponent now has to crack Blast Zone and somehow deal with Stormwing Entity. The alternative is... they don't really have an alternative. They can't cast Dismember. They need a green mana if they wanted to Nature's Claim to deal with Alpine Moon. If they could deal with Alpine Moon with a Nature's Claim, they could definitely come back from this. The old sad main phase Blast Zone. They play an Urza's Mine. Oh, if they have Spatial Contortion, exactly. That answers Stormwing Entity. They do not, and we win the match. Alright. I will see you all in round 4. Alright, we are on the play for round 4, and even though we only have 1 threat in this hand, I think this hand is alright to keep. Okay, we're going to lead on Wooded Foothills, pass the turn. I may Lava Dart my opponent, but it kind of depends on what happens here. I don't think... I might actually have to wait till turn 3 to play out a Sprite Dragon. That doesn't seem great. So if my opponent plays a Mana Dork, it's getting darted. You win this time, enchantment card type. Alright. Yeah, get a Steam Vents. I'm going to put a Lava Dart in the grave now, because if my opponent plays a Ballista on one to answer our Sprite Dragon, I want to be able to put a counter on it in response. Okay, never mind. We're going to be playing Stormwing Entity this turn instead. Manamorphose to red-blue. Play Stormwing Entity. And we need not lands. Stormwing Entity number 2 is tempting because we can just Lightning Bolt and then cast it. I think I'm actually going to put both of those cards back. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Pendelhaven. They play an Arbor Elf, and they're passing. They play another Arbor Elf. We untap, we draw Stormwing Entity, play a Mountain. What am I doing here? Play Sprite Dragon, Lava Dart, triggers, Lightning Bolt, triggers, go to combat, attack for 8. Should have put that other Stormwing Entity back, but I wasn't expecting double Mana Dork. Opponent plays a Windswept Teeth, plays Skyclave Apparition. Okay, they kill our Sprite Dragon. We untap, we draw Expressive Iteration. So blue-red, prowess trigger. 1 into our hand. Mutagenic Growth. Ah! Can I Control Z that? I can. Don't choose this. Perfect. Put back Expressive Iteration. I clicked Expressive Iteration to exile it! What happened? Oh, I must not have read the prompt and Moto must have messed up. That's really, really frustrating for me, but you know what? Okay. That's fine. Play Fiery Islet. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Whatever. Moto's giving me that click paranoia. Well, we still beat them. Everything's fine. Okay, on to game 2. Versus our opponent, I think we want a Braid. We may want Spell Pierce or Threads of Disloyalty. Threads of Disloyalty is an answer to Auriok Champion. I'm going to take I'm going to put Threads of Disloyalty in the deck. I'm going to drop a couple of Opts. I guess I have Vapor Snag as well, so maybe I don't need it. Yeah, I'm going to go with I don't need it. Try like this. Alright, I like this hand. We'll keep. It is good versus a lot of things my opponent can do. Opponent starts Windswept Teeth, passes. We will lead on a Mountain and pass. Okay, opponent fetches Temple Garden, and then fetches a Forest, playing Conclave Mentor, Lightning Bolt. Okay, they gain 2. We untap, we draw Mutagenic Growth, play Steam Vents, play Soulscar Mage, pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays an Arbor Elf, and passes. We untap, draw Lava Dart, play a Mountain, Manamorphose, prowess trigger, add red-blue, Expressive Iteration, prowess trigger. Okay, put a card into your hand, Sprite Dragon, put a card on the bottom of your deck, Vapor Snag, exile Spire Bluff. Oh, I already played a land. That was bad. I should have exiled the Lava Dart. Lava Dart Arbor Elf. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent goes down to 16, they untap. They play Skyclave Apparition, killing our 1/2, and they play a Temple Garden tapped. We untap, draw Monastery Swiftspear, so play Swiftspear, play Sprite Dragon, go to combat, swing out, opponent no blocks, Mutagenic Growth, prowess triggers, hit our opponent for 6, they go to 10, they untap, play Conclave Mentor, and attack us for 2, we untap, we draw Manamorphose, Manamorphose, triggers. Add red-blue, play a Sprite Dragon, Vapor Snag Conclave Mentor, more triggers, and the game is over. Alright, we've already got a treasure chest. I'll see you guys in round 5. Hopefully we can get the 4-1. Alright, we are on the play for round 5, and this is a mulligan. This is not. We do have to put back a Stormwing entity with this hand. Okay, we will be putting back Stormwing entity. Opponent kept 7. So play Fiery Islet, play Soulscar Mage, pass the turn. Okay, opponent untaps. They play a Power Plant, and it is Tron. We untap, draw Spire Bluff Canal, play Spire Bluff Canal, play Swift Spear, go to combat, attack for 2. Opponent untaps. They play a second Power Plant. That does not bode well for our opponent. Then they play a Chalice on 1. So this would appear to be Eldrazi Tron. Play a Fiery Islet, Manamorphose, Prowess triggers, into blue-red, and we play Stormwing entity, go Scrying. Expressive Iteration on top, Manamorphose on top of Expressive Iteration, go to combat. Attack, cast Vapor Snag, and it gets countered. For more prowess, hit our opponent for 6, they go to 12. So opponent cracks Expedition Map on their main phase. They get an Urza's Tower, they play the tower, we untap, we draw Manamorphose. So red-blue, Manamorphose, Prowess trigger, and red-blue, Expressive Iteration, Prowess triggers. So we put one of them into our hand, which is Opt. Put one of them on the bottom, which is Soulscar, and we exile Fiery Islet, play Fiery Islet, go to combat, attack with everybody, bolt our opponent, Prowess triggers, Opt, Prowess triggers, dead. Good old Chalice. It's supposed to be good against Blitz. What I tell you, it's only good if you can play it before they play a threat, which means you have to be on the play, and they have to not play a turn 1 threat. That's basically how that works out. And if they're doing that in Blitz, you're probably winning anyway. So we'll bring in Alpine Moon and a Braid. We'll cut a couple of Opts, Mutagenic Growth, and you know what? I'll cut the last Opt. Try like this. Maybe I want Spell Pierce, but... Alright, I do like it. We'll keep. So if they lead on Eldrazi Temple, we Alpine Moon Eldrazi Temple. If they lead on anything else, like an Urza's Land, we name an Urza's Land. Power Plant. Expedition Map, alright. We untap, draw Mutagenic Growth, Alpine Moon. I'm going to name Urza's Tower simply because if they are Greentron playing Chalice somehow, I don't want to give them colored mana yet. Okay, we draw a Stormwing entity, play Sprite Dragon, go to combat. When it cracks Expedition Map, they get Eldrazi Temple, so they are Eldrazi. Mutagenic Growth, hit them for 4. They go to 16. So if they have Thought Knot Seer, they definitely take Expressive Iteration 100%. They took Lava Dart? Really? I would have thought Expressive Iteration to be better in most cases, but put one of them into our hand. I guess it's Lava Dart. One on the bottom, Mutagenic Growth, exile 1, the Mountain, play a Mountain, go to combat, attack for 3, before damage, Lava Dart our opponent, hit them for 4, they go to 11, they play another Eldrazi Temple, Smasher. It has now become a face race, and one that we are losing. They hit us for 9, we go to 9, we untap, we draw a Mountain, Lava Dart our opponent, Prowess trigger, Stormwing entity, go Scrying. Do we want a Braid? I guess, no, we would rather have a few other cards. Play a Mountain, Stormwing entity, Alpine Moon on top, Expressive Iteration on top of Alpine Moon. We are attacking this turn. The only thing that we lose to here is a second Reality Smasher, I think. And I think we can actually block in such a way that we go to 1 if they have it. So they would need a second Reality Smasher and a Walking Ballista on 1, or they would need a land and an All Is Dust. Block the Thought Knot, take 5, go to 4. Opponent plays a Walking Ballista on 2, but that will not be good enough. We take down Eldrazi-tron for the 4-1, getting 5 treasure chests. Let's open up our treasure chest, shall we? What are you? Friendly trophy? Competitive trophy, okay. It just hadn't loaded yet. I was like, what is that symbol? Treasure chest number 1. 5 play points, a Gavany Township and Sliver Legion. Treasure chest number 2, 20 play points, and a The Royal Scions. It's worth nothing. Okay. Treasure chest number 3, 10 play points, and a Mythos of Nethroi. Treasure chest number 4, 5 play points, an Archon of Justice, and a Tabarax, Hope's Demise. Okay. And final treasure chest, 5 play points, a promo Needleverge Pathway, and a Tabor and Lumia. Alright. Well, that's Blitz for you. We never ran into anything we needed Threads of Disloyalty for. We got a little unlucky versus our initial opponent in Blitz, as I think the more experienced Blitz player probably wins. I haven't played a lot of Blitz. I kept a couple of bad hands, especially in that first round, so I definitely could have 5-0'd. It's a very strong deck. There's a reason it's like 8.5 to 10% of the metagame. It's crazy how often you run into this. The previous tech of things like Chalice don't really work against this deck anymore. You need something else. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say. I don't really have any suggestions because the deck is very well refined and very homogenized at the top of the metagame. So if you guys enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The last few times have been earlier than that. And I want you to know that you're all wonderful human beings, and I really, really, really appreciate your viewership. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of June. If you want to have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description below. Thank you all.